Welcome to Divine Decode, a space where we explore the hidden meanings beneath life's most challenging experiences and translate them into wisdom and soul. I'm your host Shreya, and today I'm joined by Sharon Ann Rose, ceremonialist, author, and shamanic priestess, whose work has guided women through moments of deep unraveling and profound rebirth for over 25 years. Our conversation today is about feminine wisdom for the moments when you feel you can't go on, when endurance runs out and something older and truer is asking to lead. Welcome, Sharon. I'm honored to have you on my show.
Oh, thank you so much, Shreya. Hello, everyone. It is my honor to be with you.
Thank you so much. And Sharon, before we go anywhere else, when women come to you saying, I don't know how much longer I can do this, what do you hear beneath those words?
Oh, yeah, my heart, even right now, hearing you speak it, it just cleaves, because I know that feeling. I think we all know that feeling, whether it's a woman, man, or um, a transgender, non binary person. We know that feeling when we feel we can't go on, and it's a whole body response. And so what I notice when I have a woman come to me and say that is there's so many untouched, unnamed, and unacknowledged feelings and experiences inside of her. And she's really, really asking, like, please, I just feel so far removed from who I truly am. And being honest with myself about how I'm feeling and how I'm doing and where I actually want to be in life. And that's what I can hear underneath that statement and that moment.
Yeah, so like it's not just exhaustion, it's the soul signaling that the old way of living like no longer is viable, right?
Correct. And that deeper place of she really comes to understand I can't I can't like walk with myself this
Mm.
way anymore. And usually how it presents is because we are so conditioned to point outward. So usually it's like, oh, it's my marriage, it's my family, it's my partnership, it's my parents, it's my siblings, it's my
Mm.
coworkers, it's my job. There's something that just it's, my weight, my health. Something appears from that lens of looking outward where it's like, I can't do this anymore. But the honesty is it's inviting us to turn deeply inward and realize we're not being honest with ourselves. And that is not always, a clear nor easy pivot. And once you start doing it, it is the most simple thing in the world to show up and really listen to yourself, your feelings, and the unspoken truths inside of you.
That's beautiful. And also, many women believe that reaching this breaking point means they have failed at relationship, at careers, even in spirituality. I'm really curious how you see that moment differently.
Mm. Right away, I just want to call out from the rooftops. You haven't failed. You have not failed. And the greater truth is that there's systems, our upbringing that actually failed us. And I don't say that lightly because we do need to take absolute 100% responsibility for where we're going to go from there. But it's also a normalization that there's nothing in our current world and climate and history that really did an honest and thoughtful job of helping us to know ourselves. And so we do have to take that on. We do have to take that choice to do that. And so, first and foremost, it's incredibly normal not to feel like you've done a great job at your life. That's actually more normal than not. And that's the incredibly potent and powerful turning point where you then get to free yourself from all those ideas that that you failed or that you're not doing it right to begin to just make more creative self-honoring and self-respectful choices going forward.
Yes. And like what you were describing, like reframes collapse not as a failure, but as initiation, almost as if something wiser is taking over when the willpower runs out.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we do, I have gone through it and I've gone through it more than once, maybe not at the sheer volume of collapse. I've definitely done that at least once. But I go through many micro moments of this like absolute distrust in myself. Or, I see it with women again and again. We cycle through these feelings of like, oh my God, I don't know how to handle life and myself. And my dreams, everything's falling apart. And there's a reason. And it's because when, we're no longer connected to the
Mm.
actual nourishment that's coming up from our roots. And when I say that, I mean like our deep connection to the universe, our deep connection to nature's wisdom and intelligence. We are an organic um, aspect of life, just like everything we see around us. And so, really, it's a moment saying, honey, you've absolutely lost connection to the nourishment that's going to be able to feed you to begin to make new choices and grow differently. And so it does need to absolutely be dismantled so that it can be rebuilt and regrow again with a much more sustainable and healthy vitality coming through.
Yes. I love that sentence. And also let's stay with that for a moment. Like, why do so many women reach this threshold later in life after they have done everything right?
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it is quite a phenomenon, isn't it? Well, it also shows us how we are as female bodies and women, how we are so indoctrinated and enculturated to believe we need to put the expectations of others before our own honesty and self-sincerity. And so it just shows we get to a point when we're finally older, we're mature, all kinds of chemical things are happening in our system so that we no longer have that softer, beautiful flow happening in us. We're much more willing to be clear and to strip the veil away and to say, wait a second, this doesn't work for me. We're much more in touch to our own individuation as we get older than when, the first couple of decades, we're still running on very female based hormones that are all about relationship and connection and for the well-being of humanity and evolution. Women were literally primed to care for children, to care for others, to care for the community. And so as we get older, we just get to this spot where that is not front and center for us. It's not pulsating literally through our blood and our veins and our brain's chemistry. And so suddenly we just stop and go, wait a minute, I need to be a part of this configuration as well. And usually comes as quite a stark wake up call, especially if we've been extremely in those patterns of pleasing others and caretaking and so many of the things that actually women are incredible at and we need more of in this world, but it can't be on the shoulders and burdens and backs of women alone.
Yeah. I love that reformation. Like it sounds like the body and soul eventually refuse to keep living by borrowed script, and especially when those scripts ignore feminine rhythms and cycles.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, and the world is, we all know it is so out of kilter. It has been for so long, and now it's at such a drastic high point of that. And so this kind of deep, ancient, embodied wisdom really, really is coming front and center for an evolutionary reason. And it's not just women, it's everybody waking up to this. And because it is the way of nature, it is the way of the plants and the trees and the flowers and the animals. Like they know how to live in this more organic wisdom of nature's intelligence. And then the female body carries that directly in her organs. And so now is that opportunity for all of us to turn towards that and say, yeah, the world, we care. about each other. We care about the future of this planet. We really do need to listen to women because women are the leaders of how to do that, and then how to gently, like you said, go with this through natural rhythm cycles and seasons, not some quick, abrupt, like pull the rug out from everybody. That's not going to help either, which is kind of what is happening. And so we're having a massive collapse versus it can really be a lot more thoughtful and well paced when you follow the rhythms of nature's intelligence.
Yes. And also, like, how does this crisis usually show up day to day, not in dramatic awakenings, but in ordinary life also?
Yeah, so it shows up day to day just in that when you wake up in the morning, you're probably going to be dragging yourself out of bed because you don't remember what it is that you are here for. You're forgetting that you're connected to something so vibrant and wise, and you feel really disconnected. And so it's more of a having to manipulate your body and your system and your spirit to keep going versus letting that pulsation of life's intelligence flow through you and carry you. And so it begins in that way, and then it just continues to go on throughout the day where you might feel really tired. You don't feel like you're on your game. You don't feel like you're being seen or heard. You don't feel like you're actually making, meaningful connections that are nourishing to you. You just don't feel nourished, period. Like whether it's from a discussion or an activity or literally your food, like your body is no longer able to process and digest and work through the literal things that you take in to normally feed and sustain you. Nothing, suddenly, nothing is meeting your needs anymore, and that becomes quite um, a really heavy, heavy experience throughout your day.
Yeah. And like it's like the breakdown often whispers before it screams also, like through numbness, through resentment, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a slow burn. Absolutely. It's like this slow burn that begins to whisper and then it gets a little louder and the symptoms get stronger. And then the issues become right in your face before they were just kind of on the edges. And now they're right in your face and you can't deny them. And that's okay. That's you can at any time you can lean in towards any of those aspects, whether it's dysfunctional relationships or the breakdown of career paths or the symptoms in your body. You can turn towards those at any time. The body and our humanity and nature's intelligence are very resilient and they can repair in so many dramatic ways.
Yeah. And also, like, when a woman truly feels that she can't go on, what does feminine wisdom invite her to do instead of pushing through?
Mm, yeah, great question. It invites her to turn towards what's actually happening inside of her and to gently begin to make space to befriend that and to have a relationship with it. And so, each of her days, instead of overriding what's going on, she starts to learn to put her hand to her heart, to say, how are you feeling right now? To listen to that, to honor it. And then eventually to begin to live her life from that more deeply than just have that be like a side hobby type of thing. Instead, it becomes, her front and center, her reason for living. Because when we listen to that, the beauty is it is not about self-focus. It's about self-orientation and rooting so that we can be filled once again with the wisdom of creation. And then out of that, we can show up for the world and the people we love and the causes that are so important to us from a really different center and a really different natural overflow and inheritance from what creation is offering us and has for us.
Yeah. I think that feels radically different from self improvement. It is more like remembering how to listen, how to soften, and allow guidance to emerge rather than to be forced, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I love that you bring in, like, the guidance, because the irony is when we really start listening for guidance, that guidance, though it is can be very personal for our lives, guidance is collective. Guidance is not like, "Oh, let's do this for you so that you can be, top of the game," type of thing. It's, "Oh, no, this actually really is so that you will be poised and positioned in the larger collective to truly bring what the world needs right now." And that's collective. And so it's a very we're kind of in a funky time with a lot
Mhm.
of spiritual ideas of guidance being like for us personally, it's actually for all of us. And as we turn towards it, we hear what is ours to do so that we can take responsibility for that and show up way more humanely and connected to what this planet and world and our societies need right now.
Yeah, that is like, I absolutely agree. And also, like, even after awakening moments, sometimes old patterns return. How can women stay anchored in this wisdom without judging themselves for sleeping back?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say the first point is to be really gentle because you will slip back. And that's absolutely normal and natural. And eventually, it's not so much that we stop slipping back, it's that we stop seeing it as a slip back. We just stop, like you said, we stop judging it, we stop labeling it, we stop thinking there's only one way to be and that we have to be moving in this direct forward line. We begin to soften our perception so deeply, especially about ourselves. And that makes us much more compassionate and kind to everyone and everything around us because we no longer so driven just to get to this one vision of who we thought we had to be. We're much more porous. We're much more willing to stop and smell the roses, as they say. We're willing to turn towards someone at the store or as we're walking down the street and just simply say hi because we know, like, we don't have to be so forcefully manipulating our lives that we can't enjoy what's happening in the here and now. And then that just softens that criticism and that inner judge because we just start savoring, what is here for us, what life is offering us. And it just becomes so much kinder and inwardly way more um, still in the sense of our brain isn't doing the like micromanaging every 2 seconds, giving us feedback about what we should and shouldn't do. The brain just slowly over time gets a lot kinder to us.
Yes, I love that. Like, what I'm hearing is that devotion, not discipline, becomes the sustaining force, a relationship with the feminine rather than a goal to achieve.
Yeah, it's certainly a mix because ultimately it's the capacity to be able to move between those aspects without judgment, with clarity, with discernment, with guidance, knowing that we can't leave either one out. We want to
Mm,
be both devoted and also discerning. We want to
mm,
be moving forward and also stopping and being able to twirl around in
mm.
circles for a while and knowing that neither of those aspects, if we want to call them feminine and masculine, and there's so much more to it than just that, but they really have a harmony together. They're sort of the first um, polarity that we became accustomed to relating to, especially as children. And so when we can hold those in our own hands and in our own hearts and body with appreciation and respect, then, we really do turn into a much more holistic being inside, and we're able to access so much more of ourselves.
Yes, definitely. And also, I have a reflection question for you. What I want to ask you, uh, for my listeners, like for the women who are listening right now and who feels empty, stuck, or quietly desperate, what question would you invite her to ask herself tonight?
Thank you for asking that. So, I would invite your listeners to do what I shared before, which is put your hand to your heart and just say, how are you feeling right now? And breathe into that and really allow that to become, whether it's a nightly ritual or you, you put an alarm on your phone and set times throughout the day to do that, because it just becomes this very soft anchor where we turn again. For a woman, it's not natural. She's so used to being highly attuned to everything and everyone around her. So to just pause, take a moment, breathe, and check in with her own heart and body and say, how are you feeling right now? It's a game changer. Yeah, absolute game changer. So that's what I would invite, is just to keep it really simple. And then from there, she's gonna be guided, because when she starts tapping into that much more regularly throughout her day and rhythm, especially before she goes to bed, she's just gonna feel way clearer and cleaner to receive the guidance that is hers to receive.
Yeah. And also I think like when you feel you can't go on, it may not be the end of your strength. It may be the beginning of a deeper feminine intelligence learning how to lead.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's so beautifully said, Shreya. I love that. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is truly a very powerful, very insightful conversation with you. I really think that there are many things to take from this interview. And if after this my listeners want to connect with you, then what's the best way?
Yes, please visit me. I love to connect personally and continue the discussion. You can find me online at my website is the best place, SharonAnnRose.com. Also on some social media spots, uh, also under Sharon Ann Rose, and then through my books. And my book, Faces of the Mother, is actually relaunching tomorrow. So that's in February. And that's a great place to go and immerse yourself a bit more in this kind of feminine alchemy and wisdom.
Yes, and I will make sure to attach all these details and links below so that the listeners can find them easily and get in touch with you. And this is truly, truly, again, an amazing conversation. And to my listeners, thank you for spending this time with us on Divine Decode. If something stirred in you today, let it linger. You don't have to resolve it, just listen. And remember, even in your most fragile moments, wisdom is still peaking. Until next time, be gentle with what you are becoming, and do not forget to hit the follow button, subscribe, and feel free to share your thoughts because your ears deserve premium content. Thank you.